YouTube, welcome to DigiTales. I'm Olivia and today we're going to be doing a review of one of my favourite films of 2016, which is La La Land. It's an amazing musical. It will make you want to dance, it will make you want to go to a jazz club, it makes you want to live life to the fullest and really chase your dreams. So La La Land was directed by Damien Chazelle. He's definitely one of my favourite new directors. Really young guy, he's like 31, Harvard grad, already made some pretty amazing films. So La La Land is movie number 3 for him. The last one he did was Whiplash, which again, probably one of my favorite almost all-time movies, I'll be honest. Like when you finish Whiplash, the emotion, the feeling, the characters, it's incredible, and La La Land has pretty much managed to do the exact same thing. So big thumbs up for Damien Chazelle. I am so looking forward to seeing what other movies this guy comes out with over the coming years. La La Land follows the story of an aspiring actress called Mia, played by Emma Stone, and a jazz pianist known by Sebastian, played by Ryan Gosling, and it's essentially about their love story. But the reason why I enjoyed this film so much isn't because the storyline itself happened to be so totally original, because I don't think it was, but it's because it just made you feel so nostalgic. The songs were fantastic, the dance sequences were brilliant. I mean, perfect example is the opening sequence. The first like 4 minutes of the film is this incredible song and dance sequence on this highway in this, you know, typical LA traffic scene, and immediately I was sold. I turned to my friend that I was with and I just went, I love this film, straight away after those 4 minutes. So yeah, I think that was what really ticked it off for me, was the fact that it makes you just love old school Hollywood, and it just brings you back to that era. The other thing I loved about this movie is the locations they actually chose. So it did feel like a little bit of a love story to LA. They did kind of take a mick a little bit about the struggling actress and her finding herself in situations where she's just there with a clone of other people that look like her but might be taller or slightly prettier, which is always quite amusing. And you know, the ruining of traditional jazz music and all this pop music taking over the whole Hollywood thing, the whole Hollywood machine, basically. I thought it was all quite interesting. But the locations of like Griffith's Observatory just made the film also feel so romantic. It was really beautiful scenery. All the sunset over the hills of LA was stunning. The dance sequences, I'm aware that actually when they filmed those scenes, they did it without green screen. They actually went up there at sunset and filmed the entire dance sequence there, which is actually where the main poster for the film comes from. So yeah, I love that piece, especially as I've actually been there. So watching the movie, I was like, oh, I've been there, I've done that walk, I've seen all that scenery before myself. So yeah, it was really great. The film really doesn't take itself too seriously. It does kind of make fun of Hollywood in some respects, like for example when they're leaving the party and Mia, played by Emma Stone, says that ask Ryan Gosling's character Sebastian to grab her car keys. She says that it's a Prius, and then he goes, it doesn't really help because everyone in LA drives a Prius. So that was quite funny as well. I loved all the costumes, especially the clothes that the girls were wearing. It almost felt a bit kind of 60s-esque, even though it was in this day and age. Obviously everybody had like iPhones and stuff. But yeah, the costumes were pretty amazing. All the dresses the girls were absolutely stunning. Obviously it's kind of inspired my outfit today with the big floofy skirt and the high heels, and I can twirl. So yeah, I love that whole thing as well. And I wish everyone dressed like that all the time. Don't you think that everyone would be so much happier if they dressed like that and then suddenly sprang into like song and dance randomly when they felt like it? I think it would just make life so much more entertaining for everyone. The way that Damien Chazelle chooses to end his films as well so far has been pretty spot on. So the ending for Whiplash was incredible. The ending for La La Land was no different. It couldn't have actually ended a better way, I think. It was more realistic, the ending. It wasn't just kind of cheesy, happy ending, but it definitely still had this feel-good factor when you walked out of the cinema. It kind of just made you want to go back and watch the story all over again. It was really, really thoroughly enjoyable, and I couldn't actually have imagined a better scenario for both of the characters, kind of looking back and acknowledging each other's successes and seeing that they were both happy, and it ended the way that it should. One thing I have to say about the musical element of the film is that when they did suddenly spring into song, they did it really seamlessly. So it never felt jarring in the scene when they suddenly just went from talking into la la and back to talking again. It actually felt like it flowed very, very naturally for the conversation and where the scene was going. And it was almost like you didn't really notice it. It just felt like, you know, that was the scene and that was a normal way for the characters to behave. I loved the editing of this film was fantastic. It was so fast-paced. Some of the shots, or the really long shots, or at least they were meant to feel like they were just single shots, were incredible. Again, gonna throw back to the very first scene itself, the dance sequence on the highway. That felt like just one very long shot of watching all these people dancing and moving around. It was really incredible visually, and yeah, thoroughly enjoyed all the movement. It was just choreographed perfectly, camera included. I think the only negative thing I can say about this movie is that I probably wouldn't buy the soundtrack. Not because the songs were bad or anything like that. I mean, it felt great, and it was really enhanced the whole film and the experience. But in terms of actually listening to the song standalone, there wasn't one I can think of that stood out in particular as thinking, wow, that's a big hit. I have to own that. I need the soundtrack. I need to listen to it all the time and learn all the lyrics. It never really gave me that feeling. I would watch the film again though. I definitely would buy a Blu-ray version of the film and watch that several times. And maybe through that, I might learn the songs and kind of enjoy the soundtrack a little bit more. But on first impressions, my first viewing of the film, it's not something that I think I would definitely want to go out and buy tomorrow. Before you go anywhere, don't forget to subscribe to our channel by hitting this button. Also remember to give this video a big thumbs up. You can watch some more of our videos, including this one below if you click here. If you want to carry on the conversation, you can comment below, and we will see you next time.